The cafe buzzed with the quiet hum of morning, coffee machines hissing, spoons clinking, and low chatter weaving through the air. Emma adjusted her apron, her hands trembling slightly as she balanced a tray of cappuccinos. She didn't expect the man at table 6 to look up at her like that, eyes deep, tired, but arresting, as if he'd spent the night arguing with himself. He wore a perfectly tailored suit, yet his tie was loose, his hair slightly ruffled. A little girl sat beside him, no older than 6, holding a worn-out bunny plush. "She likes extra whipped cream," the man murmured softly when Emma approached. His voice carried authority, but there was warmth beneath it, something almost protective. Emma smiled at the child, who giggled when the cream topped her cocoa like a cloud. As Emma turned to leave, she felt his gaze linger, not with arrogance, but with quiet desperation, as if he wanted to say something but didn't dare. It wasn't until the cafe's closing hour that he returned. The rain outside blurred the city lights, and Emma was wiping down tables when he appeared again, soaked but composed. "I'm sorry to come like this," he began, his tone low. "I'm Daniel Hayes. You served my daughter this morning." She nodded, unsure. "There's something I need to ask. Something strange." He hesitated, his jaw tightening. "Tomorrow is a school event, family day. Every parent is supposed to attend. My daughter, she doesn't have a mother." His eyes flicked away for a moment. "Would you pretend to be her mom? Just for a day?" Emma froze, the cloth slipping from her hand. She should have laughed it off, but the sincerity in his voice made her heart twist. He wasn't just a CEO making an outrageous request. He was a father trying to give his little girl one moment of normal. The next morning dawned soft and silver, clouds hanging low over the city as if the sky itself was holding its breath. Emma stood in front of the mirror, her fingers trembling slightly as she fastened the small pearl buttons of the cream blouse Daniel had sent her. The skirt, pastel pink, simple yet elegant, fit as though it had been chosen by someone who somehow understood her quiet modesty. She hadn't dressed this carefully in years. When she stepped outside, the sleek black car waiting by the curb made her pause. Daniel emerged from the driver's seat, wearing a dark suit that looked freshly pressed, his usual sternness softened by something new, nerves, perhaps. The car door opened, and Lily peeked out from the back, her face lighting up instantly. "Mommy," she squealed, pure delight in her voice. Emma's heart caught in her throat. Daniel's eyes flicked toward her, a silent apology, but Emma only smiled and played along, kneeling to hug the little girl. "Hi, sweetheart," she whispered, her voice trembling but warm. "Are you ready for your big day?" At the school, everything felt both surreal and tender. Parents clustered in cheerful groups, laughing and taking photos. Emma walked beside Daniel and Lily, her hand gently clasped in the child's. The whispers started almost immediately, murmurs about the powerful CEO finally showing up with a wife no one had ever seen before. Daniel pretended not to hear, but Emma could feel the tension radiating from him, that quiet discomfort of a man used to control but now navigating chaos. Lily was radiant, proudly introducing her mom to teachers and classmates. Emma played along effortlessly, helping Lily paint her handprint on a big cardboard tree, clapping when she won a small prize during a game. Daniel watched them from a short distance, something unreadable flickering in his expression. During lunch, their hands brushed as they both reached to wipe a spot of ketchup from Lily's cheek. The contact was brief, accidental, but it left the air humming. He looked at her then, really looked at her, his eyes soft but heavy with unspoken things. "You're good with her," he said quietly, almost to himself. Emma smiled faintly. "She just needs someone to listen. Every child does." He nodded slowly, as if her words carried more truth than he was ready to admit. And for the first time in a long while, the loneliness in his eyes seemed to fade, just a little. The afternoon faded into a soft amber glow as the family day event came to an end. The schoolyard emptied gradually, parents chatting, children waving colorful crafts in the air, laughter dissolving into the crisp evening. Emma stood beside Daniel, her shoes damp from the grass, Lily clutching her hand as if letting go would make the magic disappear. "Thank you for coming," the teacher called warmly as they left. Lily was so happy today. Emma smiled, glancing down at the little girl skipping ahead of them. "She's wonderful," she murmured, her voice thick with something she couldn't quite name. Daniel held the car door open for them, his movements careful, almost deliberate. Once Lily was buckled in and already humming to her bunny plush, he exhaled, leaning against the car. "You didn't have to do that," he said softly. "Any of it." Emma looked up at him, the late sunlight catching in her hair. "She believed it," she replied. "And that's what mattered." He nodded, eyes tracing the ground as though searching for words. "She hasn't smiled like that in a long time." His voice dropped, rough at the edges. "Since her mother passed." Emma's breath hitched. There it was, the truth she'd sensed but hadn't dared to ask about. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Daniel gave a small, tired smile. "Don't be. You gave her something I couldn't." He hesitated, his jaw tightening. "You made her feel normal." They drove back in comfortable silence, the hum of the car and Lily's quiet singing filling the space. When they reached the cafe, rain had begun to fall again, soft and cold. Emma turned to unbuckle her seat belt, but Daniel spoke before she could move. "Emma." His voice was low, almost unsure. "You didn't just help her today. You helped me too." She met his gaze, steady, searching, full of things better left unspoken. For a heartbeat, the world outside vanished. Just the two of them, the faint smell of rain, the dim glow of the dashboard lights. "I don't know what you're used to, Daniel," she said quietly, "but you don't have to thank me. She deserves happiness. You both do." He gave a small nod, eyes softening. "Still, I'd like to see you again. Not as a favor, not for her." His words hung between them like a spark waiting for air. Emma swallowed hard, her heart pounding. She wanted to say no, to remind him this was pretend, but the truth was, she didn't want to walk away either. And as she stepped out into the rain, she realized something terrifying and beautiful had begun the moment she'd said yes.